Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the SmartyPlants podcast. My name is Judi Bushala. I'm your host, along with my brother, Phill. And today we are talking about weight loss again. In part one, last week, we talked about what it means to be overweight and obese. We talked about fad diets, how they're not sustainable. We talked about calorie density, how to eat more and still lose weight, and how weight loss really is all about calories in and calories out. Really just comes down to simple math, and we do the math for you and we show you in a mathematical equation how to lose 10 pounds in 5 weeks. We also talk about oil. Why no oil? This is a question that we are asked all the time. We really dive into it. There are some very good reasons why not to eat this stuff. So we go into some of this stuff in part one, pick it back up in part two, because there's a lot to say, including healthy fats like nuts, seeds, and avocados, and how to incorporate those into a whole food plant-based diet, which we do. We eat them all the time. So if you haven't listened to part one, I would go back and listen to that first and then continue on in part two, because we kind of reference things that we talked about in part one and part two. And if you don't listen to part one, you won't know what we're talking about. It's really interesting stuff. I think it's important information, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's get into it. Back to oils. We cook this way almost 100% of the time, I would say, unless we're throwing a Impossible Burger on the grill, special treat. Yeah, I would say mostly almost 100% of the time we cook this way. You know, it's hard to avoid oil 100% of the time if you don't cook every meal yourself, which I don't. I mostly cook at home, but sometimes I eat out in restaurants. We just ordered Thai food last weekend. We ask for low oil. Sometimes we're getting some oil. So I'm good with that. I know lots of heart patients who are not good with that, and they don't eat any oil, zero oil, because they know it's a slippery slide. If they start on that path, they're going to slip right back into that vegan, oily foods. And that goes for sugar too. Alcohol is another one. I mean, these are just known things that are addictive it's a slippery slope for some people. Some people have to avoid alcohol 100% of the time. Some people have to avoid sugar because you just get that taste for it. Oil is like that for me. I get the taste of it and I'm like, ooh, that oily popcorn is darn good. It's like, okay, back off.
And oil, I mean, is consumed various ways. You're putting it in a pan and frying things with it to get it crispy, or you're having it with popcorn, or you're putting it directly on a salad, or finishing things off with oil. So it's something that's used in, I mean, it's not just like you use it here and you can cut that out. It's like it's in a lot of different things and how people cook, or how you were taught to cook things. Saute, that's another thing everyone asks me. How do you saute without oil? Like, how is it even possible? And I said the same thing to you. It's just like, well, that's not going to be as good. So one of the biggest things for me that changed was once you start eating this way, your taste buds do change. It's like, how will I not miss oil? Of course I'm going to miss it.
That's a really good point.
And I guess I do miss it to some degree, because if I had something fried in oil, I'm sure it is delicious. But I used to kind of joke around with you, and I'm saying, like, that doesn't taste as good as this, and you'd be like, oh, it tastes better. But yeah, after that initial month, it's like, man, things taste different. Things taste good. And when you do have that, and I would credit you, I'd say my sister was right all along. Like, I used to make fun of her about this, but this tastes better than probably what you're eating, and I feel better eating it too. And so it's kind of a win-win. We used to go to like pizza plate, pizza parties, like for the kids, like right when we started this. Hey, or family. Hey, we're getting together for a pizza party. And it's like, oh man, this is going to be horrible. Like, what am I going to get? And now I don't even really think about it. Now we go and it's like, okay, I'll just, I need a crust with roasted vegetables. Don't let it burn. You want to see.
Remember that meltdown?
But I don't, all those things that you had said, like you won't miss it once you are kind of involved in eating this way. You were right. And at the time I was like, there's no way I'm never going to miss this. This is always going to be a problem for me. And I have learned quite a bit, from this by doing this, just that you can get into that. You do fall in line and then realize, wow, this stuff is good. It is good, if not better, or at least that's the way it tastes to me.
Your taste buds are constantly changing. So just like that's why you're supposed to, when you're raising kids, encourage them. Like if they didn't like raspberries 1 week, try again in 2 weeks. You're growing and your taste buds are changing. They might like them now. We've all know that that's happened. I didn't like asparagus when I was 4. I love it now. I didn't even like cilantro in my 20s. Now I put it in everything. I mean, you got to keep reintroducing things because your taste buds change. And that goes for all this too. Once you get this oil off your palate, you adjust, and it's in weeks, it's in a month, let's say, and you don't want it anymore. And then you'll just notice. We went to this Italian restaurant. We ordered spinach without asking for low oil. It came swimming in oil, and it was like almost inedible for us because you just are not used to that anymore. And in fact, you don't want that. You just don't want it anymore. And I'm not even thinking for my health and my endothelial cells. I'm thinking, I don't want this too much. Like that's harsh on my stomach. You don't want it. Pretty fascinating.
Yeah,
It will happen.
It helped, so going into this whole thing like that's really being hearing it and having it kind of come to fruition are kind of two different things. You can say anything you want. Oh, you're not going to be hungry. You're going to love all the food. You're going to do this. Well, until you start until it starts happening to you, then you really start believing it. It's like, hey, you were right. I am loving this food. It isn't as hard to make as I thought. Again, there is some effort involved, just like anything else that's worth it in life. You have to put a little effort, but the results are there. In the end, it's like, yeah, I am glad I eat this way because I do put a little extra effort into it, but the food is great. And in the end, I'm full, I'm happier, I'm healthier.
Mm-hmm.
It all kind of falls in line.
Your endothelial cells are happier.
They are. I can feel it.
Can you feel it? You feel that blood pumping through your veins. Well, it's true. And like I said, that's the most excellent news is that we can reverse this. It doesn't matter that I, ate steaks my whole life or hamburgers or eggs or butter. It doesn't matter. I can reverse that. Just get into this plant-based lifestyle and it will start reversing. I've seen the heart scans, the arteries open back up. Your blood starts flowing. You can reverse all this damage that we've all done. So let's get on that path.
It's never too late. That's, going back to that, like that people, I think, get to a point where, you get healthy or you get heavy, you get unhealthy. And it's like, oh, I'll just go to the doctor. They'll give me pills. I'm on blood pressure medication now. It's not helping at all, and to have a way to kind of reverse things and be a success story is huge. For people to say, look, I'm just going to continue to eat this way and I'll just take my pills. And unfortunately, I won't be exercising because I'm too heavy, or I'm just getting more and more unhealthy. I'm just going to have to live with that. You don't have to live with that. That's kind of where I was, like just being heavier, saying like, well, I've tried losing weight my whole life. I've tried this my whole life. It just doesn't work. I'm just a heavy guy. It's a big family, or, kind of a heavy family for the most part. A few of you got away pretty easy, got mom's genes instead of dad's genes. But in the end, I could see that, no, I can change this. I can change, I can, be that success story and, change the way, life didn't, it's not mapped out for me. That's how it's going to be. It's like, I can change this.
So that's just a story you're telling yourself. And think about it. You were only in your 40s and that you're like, oh, well, that's it for me. I'm a heavy guy. Might as well. You could live another 60 years. You could be fit as a fiddle for 60 more years, but you wanted to tell yourself that, well, like I said, I'm probably going to get heart disease. I want to keep eating my sausage and peppers and my pepperoni pizza. I'm going to just stay at this weight my whole life. And I'll probably, I guess, someday have a heart attack. I don't know. You don't have to be that guy. And I think your wake up call was in Florida and it scared you. And so you got on this diet thinking you're not going to stay on it. You're just going to lose some weight for the wedding. We already talked about this story. But, he was like, wait a minute, this food is good. I could actually maybe do this. I'm feeling better. I lost 17 pounds in the first 28 days. It works. And I think you kind of needed that wake up call. I'm glad that happened in Florida. I'm glad you got scared now because it really made you see. And what we're trying to show people is don't wait till you have a health episode. Don't wait till you're scared. Why? Why wait till you're scared? Because you are on that path. You're on that path. If you eat the standard American diet, I'm sorry to say you are on that path. So you could either play the odds and say, well, like me jumping on the motorcycle, I'll just, not going to happen to me. Okay. And then you see your friend drop dead. I mean, like I did a couple months ago in his 50s and out of a heart attack. Nobody expected it. It was so sad.
And it could be, and again, that's not always weight. I mean, you could be super slim. That's why I worry about my son. My son is super slim and tall. But I said, what the damage is being done internally. It may not be showing as in weight, but it's damaging, your inside. So it could be a guy that has a heart attack at 40 or 30.
Well, I learned this in my class that teenagers who had died in like car crashes, let's just say, or accidents, they did autopsies on them, and they noticed that already this stuff has started in their arteries. Teenagers. I think I learned in the class, like, only if you're under 11, your arteries are clean as a whistle. Under 11, after 11, here we go. Get on the track to heart disease if you're eating that standard American diet, because that's what's happening. And I was really, really shocked that teenagers already had the signs. Just like I said earlier, obese children and overweight children are already showing signs of high cholesterol and high blood pressure. These are our children. So it starts early. Back to oil and fiber. Oil is stripped of all of its fiber. So that just means it's stripped of all of its plant parts. They're squeezing that olive down to get that olive oil out, and they're tossing out all the plant parts. So that's the fiber. Fiber is the part of plant foods that can't be digested. So animal-based foods contain zero fiber. You can only get fiber from eating plants, and fiber is super, super good for us. We all need to be eating fiber, and most people need to be adding more fiber to their diets. So with the oil, without any fiber, the oil gets absorbed by our bodies super quickly, and your body immediately turns this to fat. That's just how our bodies work. But the healthy fats that we eat, the nuts and the seeds and the avocado, those do have fiber. So our bodies don't process it the way it does oil. Isn't that awesome? So that's just another reason to eat the healthy fats. You're getting all that fiber.
Did you get that, Greg?
Greg, I hope you're paying attention. Gail, give him a poke. Needs to listen to this. So the fiber prevents our bodies from absorbing the fat right away, the actual fiber in the healthy nut that we're eating. The fat actually stays in the nut. That's what happens. And the fat eventually leaves our bodies right along with the nut after it's digested. I just love that. It's so cool. So that's what the fiber does. It holds on to that fat and takes it right on out of our bodies. But the oil doesn't work that way. The oil gets absorbed almost immediately. We're going to get into fiber in another episode, but there's so many good things about fiber and what it does for our bodies. And you can only get that in plant foods.
Hey everyone, it's Phill. I just wanted to take a quick break in the discussion to remind everyone that SmartyPlants has 2 great meal plans to offer. The first is our 28-day Kickstart, which is for people who are curious about a plant-based diet but really don't know where to begin. It's also for people who have health or weight issues and need some help getting healthy. Our program includes 28 days of carefully planned recipes that are simple to make and super tasty. Things like Caesar salad, nachos, and pizza. It also includes meal prep instructions, a grocery list, and daily lessons on things like stocking a plant-based kitchen, weight loss, and navigating social situations. You'll come out of it a plant-based rock star. If this sounds good to you, you should become one of our Kickstarters. Our second program is our weekly meal plan. This is for people who have the plant-based basics down, but they want trusted and delicious recipes each week. Our members receive at least 3 new recipes each week created by our very own SmartyPlants team. Things like pesto lasagna, crunch wraps, French onion, grilled cheese, sauces, mains, sides, desserts, and more. Our meal planners have access to our full recipe database, our meal planner where they can customize their meals each week and create a grocery list, meal prep instructions, and great support, of course. Stop downloading random recipes from strangers on the internet and check out our tested and delicious recipes. If this sounds good to you, let us do the heavy lifting for you and become one of our weekly meal planners. For more info, check out our website, SmartyPlants.org, and use the discount code PODCAST2022. That's PODCAST 2022. You'll receive 50% off our 28-day Kickstart or 50% off our weekly meal plan for up to 3 months. Now back to the show.
Exercise really can speed up your weight loss if you want to. So like we had said, if you're keeping track of what you're eating, burn off a few more calories and really speed it up that way. I think the best way to exercise is to just move your body in the whatever way makes you the happiest. You may like to hit the gym and run on the treadmill and lift weights and do all that stuff. If that makes you happy, do it. I'm not a runner. I don't like to run. I don't like to do any of that stuff, but I do like Supernatural because it's just something fun and I can move my body and I'm still sweating. I like to walk. I like to hike. I like to do yoga. I don't like to run. I don't like to do that. What's that thing? Eclipse. Elliptical.
Elliptical eclipse.
I don't like the elliptical. I don't like those machines. I just don't. I don't stick to them.
Yeah, the Oculus definitely offers me something that I really enjoy. I do like walking. So, the last 2 years I had been walking a lot. This year I really had the weather just kind of broke last week. So I really hadn't been doing much walking. Walking on the treadmill is the worst. I mean, it's just so boring. And I tried to maintain doing that in the winter and I just can't do it. I just can't summon the want to walk on the treadmill. I don't know. I just don't like it. But the Oculus, I mean, I don't even look at it as like I'm working out. It's like a large video game that I'm involved in, like it just seems like, okay, it's just kind of killing two birds with one stone. It's like exercise and some video game time. I look at it as kind of like just my downtime of just doing something fun, which is nice. Walking, I get a little bit more like, hey, I'm thinking, I'm listening to podcasts, I'm out in nature, I'm getting involved. Like I feel like I think I enjoy them on different levels, I guess. I don't feel like I'm in a video game, like really enjoying, doing like leisure activity. I just feel like I'm exercising, I'm getting fresh air. There's a lot more to it. It's more, I wouldn't say spiritual, but like I'm trying to take deep breaths and I'm trying to look at the birds and I'm trying to be part of nature. It's more like that. But I want to try and start incorporating both. I don't feel like I'm doing a lot of exercise. Again, with the Oculus, it feels like I'm in a video game and I'm sweating. It's like when you play basketball. It's like, hey, I'm playing basketball and I enjoy it.
In the moment, right?
Yeah, I don't feel like it's like, oh, I'm doing this for exercise purpose.
Right.
So I don't feel like it's like, oh, I exercised a lot. It was like, oh, I played some video games.
And I sweat my buns off.
Right, more than that. But I do. I mean, I am enjoying it thoroughly. I got to say, even today, I did like, not to get off track, but I did like the Monster Marathon, which was like 20 minutes, and then I did like another. Again, it seemed like a short Monster Marathon. I thought it would be longer.
20-minute marathon, yeah.
But then I did like a high intensity, another 20, and I was still 5 minutes short of my 45-minute goal. So then I did another like quick
hits.
Did like the quick hits.
Did you ever do Absolicious?
I did Absolicious.
I like
today.
that. Yeah, I did that the other day.
That was
the
high intensity one I did.
I love when you go right and left and you feel your core. Oh, I'm like, burn that belly fat. You're just more likely to stick to something that you enjoy. If you find something like that, you're more likely to stick to it. Because like me, I'm not going to stick to going to the gym and doing all that stuff. I'm just not. But yeah, Frank and I walk to the lake. We're looking at the birds and the flowers and we're talking and we might stop and get something to drink. And it's just like a fun thing. And he pushes me just like Shannon pushes you. I'm not like, it's not a leisurely stroll. We are walking. It's a workout in a way, but it's still fun. It's something that we enjoy. We're together. We're talking and like the Oculus is fun. I do my sweaty workout and I'm done. But it's actually fun. I'm jumping around and it's something I know I will stick to. So find something that you like, that you'll stick to and just add it. If you're looking to speed up your weight loss, add it to your life, burn those 500 calories, figure it out. Remember, you need to burn more calories than you're taking in to lose weight.
Even when I started, I was 270 pounds and it's like, well, what can I possibly do? And it's like, well, we'll take a walk. It was easy to do.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll walk for a mile. Let's walk half a mile and then a half a mile back. Well, then that turned into, hey, we should try to walk around, the park. And then it's like, hey, we should walk around the park, but we should circle the park twice and then walk back. And then eventually it turned into like, I was walking 7 miles a day. And it's like, I'm going to see if I can walk all the way down, all the way through that neighborhood, all the way back. And then, I went back and I mapped it out and it's just like, holy cow, it's 7 miles. Like it took a long time. And believe me, it was very, it took, 2 hours, to walk 7 miles or whatever it was. I'm not walking at a super fast clip, but
you were burning through those shoes.
I did. And that's the whole thing. Like my shoes are still messed up from last year. Like I burned through a pair of Nike like running shoes in a month and a week or something.
You were walking everywhere.
I complained to Nike. It's just like, I'm not even a walker. And like, I mean, I don't know what joggers, how quickly you're burning through shoes, but like, it's like $100 pair of shoes or $120 pair of shoes I burned through in a month. But that my point is like I started off walking a mile and I ended up walking 7 miles. In the end, now I'm losing weight. Now I'm feeling better. I'm seeing results. I'm into it, and that's what sucks about kind of Chicago. Then winter comes and it's like, all right, then the walking's over. Then you have to get back into it. And that's what I'm trying to do now. And it's like, can I squeeze in an hour of Oculus and then another hour or two walking? It's like, how many hours in the day do I have? But I do want to do that because I do enjoy that in a different way. Like I said, where I am taking breaths, I am out in nature, I am seeing things and feeling like I'm out. With the Oculus, I'm like, I'm on Mars, like in my basement.
Mars yesterday. Did you see the one with the huge moon? I love that one. It's right in front of you. You're like, whoa, hello, moon.
It's really cool. Like, the scenery, but I'm not tricking myself thinking that like I'm out in nature and breathing. Yeah, I'm in the basement, where it's temperature controlled and all that. Whereas when I'm outside, it's like, hey, the sun's beating down. Even I was getting a tan. I'm like outside.
Getting your vitamin D from the sun.
Yeah, for sure.
This reminds me of this story that we did when I worked at the Oprah show. It always stuck with me. The blue zones are these places around the world where they have the most centenarians, people that live over 100. Most of them eat a plant-based diet or close to a plant-based diet. We went to investigate, like, what are they doing in these blue zones? Why are people living so long? I remember Okinawa, Japan was one of them. Costa Rica, they've labeled them blue zones. So anyway, there was this man named Juan and he lived in Costa Rica. And I remember this doctor went there and he was just giving Juan a physical to just to see, like Juan was like in his 90s. I think he was in his early 90s. Well, Juan rode his bike every day and he rode miles on his bike to get to the field where he used a giant machete. And he had to man his crops, he'd have to cut down the crops with this machete and he'd wrangle in his, I don't know what they were, horses or cows or whatever the animals were there that were there. Like he just did all this physical labor all day long, rode his bike back, made his own food, cooked, with the basics that he grew. That's all in the fresh air. He lived on a mountain, so he had fresh air and he lived far away from anything industrial. There's no gasoline, no pollution in the air. It was like such a pure lifestyle. Well, I remember when the doctor went to give him his exam, first of all, he looked 60, his face. They ripped open his shirt. He had abs of steel. 90-year-old Juan had abs of steel. And the doctor examined him and he said, oh my God, he has the insides of a 40-year-old. I mean, this is a necessity. Juan needed to do all that stuff, ride his bike, cut down his fields with a machete by hand. What was Juan doing? Juan was giving himself the best exercise and health, living on this mountaintop, eating the food that he grew. I mean, it's just incredible. So that's a little side story I thought was interesting because it's not like Juan, got on his bike thinking, hey, I'm bike riding, I'm getting my exercise in. But look what he was doing. Yeah, look what he did for himself. 90-year-old had the body of a 40-year-old and ripped abs.
I remember you telling me about that, the blue zones and a couple of different people, but I do remember you talking about Juan as well. When you were doing it, I mean, that was how long ago was that? And that was years ago.
Years ago, 15 years ago. That really stuck with me. I love that, and I mean, it does stick with me sometimes when you go into a store and you see the escalator or the stairs. It's just like, maybe I'll take the stairs. It doesn't seem like all those things add up, but they do. Take the stairs, park farther away, leave the closer spots for older people, like all those little things. I mean, just try to get your calories burning, keep your body moving.
I try to do that. My wife has always done that. Let's just take the stairs. Like, why take the escalator? Just what is it going to kill us to walk down, especially down the stairs?
Right.
I do. I try and do that. Even today when I ran to the grocery store or whatever, right? I park. I make sure I'm like the last car, just in the line of cars, pass up a couple open spots. And it's like, someday I may be at a point where it's like, man, I wish I can walk. I wish I can do that.
Yes.
It's like, now is the day that I'm happy that I can. And it's like, if someone can't, give them the closer spots, I bet, an extra 20, an extra 50 steps. I make 3 or 4 stops and I'm making an extra 50 steps. Okay. Right. Those add up. Another 100, another 200 steps, another 20 calories, another 50 calories, whatever that is. Like, yeah, I definitely do that.
Another way to speed up weight loss, don't drink your calories. What do I mean by this? Well, let's talk about smoothies and juice, for example. Okay. Like we had said, fiber fills us up. That bulk keeps us full. Okay, so let's take an apple, for example. An apple contains fiber, water, and nutrients. So a large apple has roughly, let's say, 100 calories. If you ate 3 apples, you'd be eating 300 calories. Here I go with the math again. You'd be getting all the fiber and all the nutrients. 3 apples, 300 calories, all the fiber, all the nutrients. Well, I'd be really full if I ate 2 apples, let alone 3 apples. I probably would be too full if I ate 3 apples. I don't think I've ever tried to eat 3 apples, but 3 apples, I'd be stuffed. Okay, so let's take those 3 apples and let's grind them up and make applesauce out of them, right? Throw them in your blender, grind them up. Now you'd wind up with about a cup and a half of applesauce. Could I eat that? Sure, I could. I could eat that half and a cup of applesauce easily. I'd still be eating 3 apples. I'd still be getting all the nutrients, and I'd still be getting the 300 calories and all the fiber. I'd gobble that up in a second. Would I be as full as I would have been if I ate those 3 apples? No, I wouldn't. Not at all, right? Because it's only a cup and a half of applesauce. It's just so interesting is how when you grind that fiber down into applesauce, it doesn't fill you up as much. So you could eat the 3 apples and be stuffed and eat those 300 calories, or you could eat the cup and a half of applesauce and the same 300 calories, same nutrients, still good for you, but you're not as full. Now let's take it a step further. If you make apple juice out of those same 3 apples, now you're just taking the juice out, you're throwing away the fiber. You'd get like almost 1 cup of juice, not quite. You'd get almost all the nutrients, none of the fiber, and all of the calories. Well, I could drink that juice down in 5 seconds flat.
Probably 3 glasses of it.
For sure, 3 glasses of it. Yes. And I'd still be hungry. That's doing nothing for my hunger. It's curbing my thirst, but it's doing nothing for my hunger. So you see how that works? How it might cut into your weight loss? You're still getting all those calories, but you're just quickly drinking that juice up. Same thing for the smoothie. Yeah, you're still getting the fiber. If you throw all your veggies in, and that's why I don't want to poo-poo smoothies because they are good for you. You're getting all the fiber, you're getting all the nutrients. But if you ate all those fruits instead, you could drink a smoothie down pretty easily. But if you ate the fruits instead of grinding them down, you're more full. You have a longer time eating those fruits, right? Eating those apples than you do just drinking down a smoothie as you're, walking around. So I like to promote eating the whole apple along with all the fiber and fill your tummy up.
Now imagine getting ready to cook dinner, having a couple handfuls of almonds and a couple glasses of juice,
Exactly.
ready to eat dinner. And I've pounded down 800 calories and I'm still hungry at that point.
You didn't even start dinner yet. You had 2 handfuls of almonds, 3 glasses of apple juice. Yeah, you're feeling good, but look at all those calories. Mm-hmm. Right. And the same thing goes for peanuts and peanut butter. We grind our own roasted peanuts down into peanut butter. There's no sugar added. There's no oil. There's nothing. But when you grind the peanuts into peanut butter, you decrease the volume and you still have the exact same amount of calories. To feel full, the weight and the volume does matter. So our stomachs can, I guess, roughly hold about 4.5 cups of food. If we blend our food up into smoothies or we grind our peanuts up into peanut butter, we get the same amount of calories, but way less bulk. That means we don't feel as full. If you're not feeling as full, you're going to be more likely to continue to eat.
Right. A lot more snacking and things like that. You're hungry for your next meal quicker than your next meal comes.
Yep. So the way to feel more full while eating fewer calories is to eat whole foods like vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and legumes, which are less calorie dense. We know what that means now, less packed with calories. I like this little example that one of my friends does. She eats a pound of broccoli for breakfast every morning, an entire pound. There are only 150 calories in a whole pound of broccoli. So she buys it frozen, zaps it in the microwave, sprinkles it with some spices, maybe some aminos, and eats the entire bag before breakfast. Her stomach is full before breakfast. Now, I know that may not sound appetizing to some of you, but when you're hungry, if you let yourself get hungry and you steam a bag of broccoli, what I like to do is not just put lemon juice on it or some spices. I like to put like whatever sauce I have in the fridge. Like if I have the Caesar, let's just say drizzle a little Caesar dressing over it. I could eat a whole bag of frozen broccoli because I like to fill up. I like to fill up on plant foods that are so good for me, nutrient dense and very low calories. And that's what you can do. This friend likes to fill up too. So she eats all that and then she has breakfast. And she lost actually over 100 pounds eating this way. Yeah, fill your stomach for 150 calories. I mean, it just works. It's like, that's how you play with your calories. You know, if that doesn't sound appealing to you, then you might want to use your 150 calories in another way. I might want to have a whole giant pound of broccoli with a little bit of dressing on it and fill up, and then have my avocado toast. That's how you can play with it. Whatever sounds appealing to you, just like anything else, just make a little plan, figure out your calories, figure out what works for you. If you want a glass of white wine at night, if you want a handful of almonds, if you want to throw some garbanzo beans on your salad, if you're looking to lose weight, figure it out. Figure out what works for you. Figure out how many calories you burn walking a mile. Play with the calories in, calories out. It works. The math works. To speed it up, you know, like we had said earlier, cut down on the healthy fats, the avocados, nuts, and seeds because they're higher in calories. Eat more greens and vegetables. And of course, drink plenty of water.
Yeah, that's something I've always done, which is great. And I have passed that along to the kids. The kids drink a lot of water. My son doesn't drink any soda or anything like that. He does drink juice, probably more than he should, but we keep that huge thing of water cold in the fridge. And I constantly see him in there filling up his drink, just drinking right from the, his glass, down it, fill it, down it, fill it. It's like, I'm glad we did that because, that's just another thing. The volume of like soda that people drink. And we've talked about this a few times, but it's like, geez, man, just all that soda, just all that sugar, and even the diet stuff, which is, I mean, who knows what the heck's in that stuff, but
I know people who start their day with like a giant Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's like one of the worst. I had read Mountain Dew, especially. I don't know.
Soda, like just drink, like, I mean, right. I go to work and see just people like drinking, cracking open sodas. It's 7 in the morning.
But all that sugar and all doing nothing for you and just calories for no reason. You just to get your body addicted to water, get off the soda. The soda should be the first thing to go. In my book, just get off of that soda.
And it's true. And I remember hearing people say this, like, oh yeah, no, I got to start with the soda. I got to have my soda. I got to have my Coke every day, or Mountain Dew, or whatever.
I'm sure there's a lot of people listening that are drinking soda.
Yeah,
I don't want to sound judgy. I'm not judging you. I am telling you this because I really believe in this. I really believe it's doing nothing for you. Hey, I ate plenty of junk my whole life. I'm not judging you, but I don't want you drinking soda because that's the first thing you should cut out. All that sugar to quench your thirst. Get your taste buds trained on water. Water quenches your thirst even better. And you will not even remember what it's like to drink all that sugary stuff down. You'll won't want it in 1 month.
And in the end, I mean, the water is helping your body as well. It's helping clear your body. Your body is 90% water. It needs water. It wants water,
Yeah,
I know people that just don't drink water at all. It's like, I don't know how you can not drink water at all. It's like, well, I have coffee, I have soda, there's water and so it's just like, it's not the same thing. It is not the same thing at all.
You're flushing things out. You're flushing out toxins. You're rehydrating. You're lessening inflammation. Water is like our lifeline. You want to be drinking water. Exactly. It's not just a thirst quencher. Put a little fruit in it. I put lemon in my water. I like lemon water. Drink your water. And let's wrap it up with something to keep in mind. The more nutrient dense plant foods you eat, the less you will eat of everything else. Don't you like that?
Very simple.
Yes. So keep feeding your body all the plant foods because you're going to be full and then you won't eat all the junk. You won't be tempted to eat all the junk. Just keep on eating those plants because when you feed your body the right fuel, your body begins to heal and function, and it will get you to the best possible weight for your body. Not only that, you're going to start to feel amazing. Don't you feel amazing?
I don't know if I feel amazing. I feel more amazing than I used to. I tell you that.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Than you used to, because you've been eating this way for a long time now. So
I did want to just say, I mean, if people are struggling, that you might be not involved in plant-based eating at all and just listening to this for weight loss to see what it's all about. This is part of why we started SmartyPlants, is to help people get started doing this. So we do have a plan. I mean, we have two. One plan is to help people get involved. And that's how I got involved, going in saying, hey, this is going to be for a month, not realizing it was going to kind of change my whole life. But now that I'm talking to people and seeing, a plan is the kind of the heart of doing it. It's hard to just start anything and say, okay, I'll eat more vegetables and I'll try to cook better and I'll use less meat. I would never have been able to do it. So in the end, having kind of a set plan, here's an outline of how to get started on this. So if you are interested, I mean, we certainly can help get people started. If you never thought you'd be able to do it, I never thought I was going to be able to do it either. Yeah, we'd love to help you out, get started. Come check out the website, and we have a whole 28-day plan laid out for you as well.
So do we have a coupon for the Kickstart going?
We sure do. So today, just going to be, if you're listening to the show, we put together a coupon for the Kickstart itself. So if you want to get started, you want to give it a try. The coupon is weight loss, WEIGHTLOSS 22. So weight loss 22. If you go to the site, in the show notes, I'll put the coupon and just the link to the website. So if you want to get started, it's $9.99. It's 28 days. It's a laid out plan of the grocery list. It has all the recipes. It has the meal plan. It has everything that you need to kind of be successful for that first 28 days.
And we walk you through it. We hold your hand. We walk you through it. Every day there's a lesson. This weight loss is a whole lesson. Day 10, I know it, in the Kickstart, but every day there's a new lesson. So you actually learn about this lifestyle, the whys, like we just explained today about the way calorie density works and in and calories out. And, we go over everything. So you really learn. And it's not just a quick weight loss plan. It's like a lifestyle change. When you eat this plan on a consistent basis, you will lose weight. The pounds will come off. At the same time, you'll be healing your body and reversing any damage that's already been done.
Come be part of our community as well. We're there every day. Support you through your journey from day 1 to day 28 and beyond.
Yeah, join our Facebook group. Great group of people. We're sharing food photos and talking about the food, and it gets you inspired and excited to start eating this way when you see other people enjoying it. Not to mention, you'll start craving this food because it's darn good. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you learned a little bit about weight loss to take with you, and we will be back next week.
Subscribe and follow. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.